Nearly 1 million immigrants in the UK could be affected by new immigration laws coming in 2026. Some experts warn that families who have lived in the country for years could suddenly face losing their homes, jobs, or legal status almost overnight. But what exactly are these 10 new laws? And why are they creating so much fear among immigrant communities? Many people don't realise that small changes in immigration rules can trigger serious consequences for housing, visas, and family life. In this video, we'll break down the 10 powerful new UK laws that could change everything for immigrant families and explain how these rules might impact thousands of people across the country. Some of these changes may truly surprise you. Number 10. Reduced appeal rights. One of the most concerning changes in the UK's new 2026 immigration rules is the possible reduction in appeal rights for immigrants facing visa refusals or deportation orders. In the past, families often had the chance to challenge a decision in court if they believed it was unfair or based on incorrect information. But under the new rules, the government may limit the number of appeals or shorten the time allowed to file them. For many immigrant families, this could mean having very little time to defend their case. Imagine receiving a letter saying your visa has been refused, or your stay in the UK is no longer valid. In previous years, you might have had months to gather documents, speak with lawyers, and present your case before a judge. But with these changes, that window could become much smaller, leaving families scrambling to find legal help. This situation can create stress, uncertainty, and fear, especially for parents with children in school or people who have lived and worked in the UK for many years. Legal experts warn that limiting appeals could lead to more mistakes going unchallenged. Immigration cases are complex, and sometimes decisions are made based on incomplete records or administrative errors. Without a proper chance to appeal, families may face serious consequences such as losing their legal status, their jobs, or even their homes. If you or someone you know is dealing with immigration applications, experts recommend keeping all documents organised, seeking legal advice early, and carefully reviewing any official communication from immigration authorities. But being prepared could make a crucial difference if policies suddenly change. If this information surprised you, let us know in the comments below. Which of these laws worries you the most? We spend hours researching and creating videos like this to keep you informed, so please support the channel by hitting subscribe. It's just one click, but it means a lot to us. Number 9. Work visa sponsorship crackdown. Another major change expected in 2026. UK immigration policy is a stricter crackdown on work visa sponsorship rules. Many immigrants living in the UK rely on companies that sponsor their work visas. This sponsorship allows them to legally work, earn a living, and support their families. But under the new laws, the government plans to introduce tougher compliance checks for employers who sponsor foreign workers. In simple terms, companies will be monitored more closely to ensure they follow every immigration rule perfectly. If a company makes mistakes in documentation, fails to meet salary requirements, or violates sponsorship guidelines, it could lose its sponsorship license. And here's where the real problem begins. If a company loses that license, the workers sponsored by that employer may suddenly lose their legal right to stay and work in the UK. For many immigrant families, this creates serious uncertainty. Imagine working for a company for several years, paying taxes, building a life, and then suddenly learning that your employer has lost the right to sponsor workers. In some cases, employees may be given only a short period of time to find another sponsor, which can be extremely difficult depending on the job market. Immigration advisors recommend that workers stay informed about their employer's sponsorship status and keep copies of all important employment documents. It's also wise to understand alternative visa options in case something unexpected happens. Being aware of these risks can help immigrants prepare and protect their future in the UK. We spent a lot of time researching these laws to bring you clear and useful information, so tell us in the comments below. Which of these new laws surprised you the most? And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep creating content for you. Number 8. Digital immigration status monitoring. Another major shift coming with the UK's 2026 immigration changes is the move toward a fully digital immigration status system. Instead of physical visa cards or documents, most immigrants will now rely on an online immigration record to prove their legal status in the country. While this system is designed to make processes faster and more efficient, it also introduces new risks and challenges that many families may not be prepared for. Under the digital system, employers, landlords, and even some government services will check a person's immigration status through an online database. If everything is correct, this system can make verification simple and quick. However, the concern arises when technical errors, outdated records, or system glitches occur. In such cases, a person who legally lives in the UK might suddenly appear as if they don't have the right to work or rent a home. Imagine applying for a job or trying to renew a rental agreement, only to be told that the system shows no valid immigration status. Even if the mistake is temporary, fixing it can take days or even weeks. During that time, families may face delayed employment opportunities or housing problems. Immigration experts advise immigrants to regularly check their digital immigration account, ensure their information is accurate, and save copies of any official confirmation emails or documents. Staying informed and organised can help prevent small technical errors from turning into serious legal or housing issues. We put a lot of research and effort into making videos like this to keep you informed. So tell us in the comments below, do you think digital immigration systems will make things easier or more risky? And if you appreciate content like this, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it truly supports the work we do. Number 7. Restricted access to public housing. Another significant change that could affect many immigrant families in 2026 is the tightening of rules around public housing eligibility. Public or social housing in the UK has long served as a safety net for low-income families who struggle to afford private rent. However, new policy proposals suggest that access to these housing programs may become much more restricted for certain immigrant groups. Under these changes, local councils may be required to conduct stricter immigration status checks before approving housing applications. In some cases, immigrants with temporary visas or uncertain status may no longer qualify for government-supported housing programs at all. This could place many families in a difficult situation, especially those already facing high rent prices and rising living costs. Imagine a family that has been living in the UK for years, working hard and contributing to the economy, suddenly discovering that they are no longer eligible for housing assistance. Without that support, they may struggle to keep up with private rent payments, potentially increasing the risk of eviction or homelessness. Housing experts warn that these rules could put additional pressure on immigrant communities who are already navigating complicated legal systems and expensive living conditions. That's why it's becoming increasingly important for families to stay informed about housing eligibility rules, maintain clear documentation of their immigration status, and seek help from community organisations or housing advisors if they face difficulties. So understanding these policies early can help families prepare and avoid unexpected problems that could threaten their housing stability and financial security. We spend hours researching and simplifying these complex laws for you. So tell us in the comments below, which of these new rules do you think will affect families the most? And if you value the effort behind videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue bringing you important updates. Number 6. Increased landlord penalties for renting to undocumented immigrants. Another law that could dramatically affect immigrant families in 2026 involves stricter penalties for landlords who rent homes to people without valid immigration status. The UK already has a policy called Right to Rent, which requires landlords to check the immigration status of tenants before allowing them to move in. But under the new proposals, the penalties for breaking this rule may become much harsher. Landlords who fail to properly verify a tenant's immigration status could face large financial fines or even criminal charges. Because of this risk, many landlords may become extremely cautious when renting properties. Some may refuse to rent to anyone whose immigration documents appear complicated, temporary, or unfamiliar. Unfortunately, this could make it much harder for immigrants to find housing, even if they are legally allowed to live in the UK. Imagine being ready to rent an apartment, having a stable job, and being able to pay the rent, but the landlord refuses simply because they are worried about immigration rules. Situations like this could push many immigrant families toward limited housing options or higher rent prices, increasing financial pressure. Housing experts suggest that immigrants should keep all immigration documents updated and easily accessible when applying for rental housing. It can also help to work with trusted housing agencies or community groups that understand immigration policies and can guide families through the process. But understanding these changes early can help families prepare and avoid unexpected barriers when searching for a safe and stable home. We put a lot of time and effort into researching and creating videos like this for you. So tell us in the comments, which law in this list shocked you the most? And if you appreciate this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it truly supports the work we do. Number 5. Faster deportation procedures. Another major change expected in 2026 is the introduction of faster deportation procedures. The UK government has been discussing ways to speed up immigration enforcement, and one of the key proposals is to reduce the time it takes to remove individuals who are considered to be in violation of immigration rules. While the goal is to make the system more efficient, critics say this could have serious consequences for many immigrant families. In the past, deportation cases could take months or even years because individuals were allowed to go through several legal reviews and appeals. These processes gave families time to gather evidence, consult lawyers, and explain their circumstances. However, the new system may introduce shorter processing times and quicker decisions. Meaning families might have far less time to respond. For immigrants who suddenly receive a notice from immigration authorities, the situation could become extremely stressful. Imagine being told that your visa status has changed, or that you may no longer be allowed to remain in the country, and having only a short window to challenge that decision. For parents with children in school, or workers who have built careers in the UK, this could create serious emotional and financial pressure. Experts recommend that immigrants stay proactive by keeping their immigration paperwork updated, maintaining records of employment and residency, and seeking legal advice as soon as possible if they receive any official notice. Acting quickly and staying informed can make a big difference when dealing with complex immigration procedures. We spend hours researching and preparing videos like this so you can stay informed about important changes. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which law in this video do you think will impact families the most? Tell us in the comments. And if you appreciate this effort, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Number 4. Shorter grace period. After visa expiry. One of the most worrying changes expected in 2026 immigration policies is the possibility of a much shorter grace period after a visa expires. In the past, if someone's visa expired, they were often given a small window of time to correct the issue, whether that meant renewing their visa, submitting a new application, or resolving paperwork problems. This grace period acted like a safety buffer, giving families time to fix mistakes without immediately losing their legal status. However, under the proposed changes, this grace period could become significantly shorter or even removed in certain situations. This means that the moment a visa expires, a person could technically become undocumented overnight. For many immigrants, this is extremely concerning because visa processes can be complicated, and even a small administrative delay could create serious consequences. Imagine a worker who submits a visa renewal application but faces a delay due to missing documents or processing backlogs. Under stricter rules, that short delay might suddenly affect their right to work, rent a home, or access certain services. Families who rely on stable employment and housing could suddenly find themselves in a very uncertain situation. Immigration advisors recommend that immigrants start the visa renewal process as early as possible, carefully track expiration dates, and keep copies of all submitted documents. Being organised and proactive can help reduce the risk of falling into an unexpected legal gap that could affect housing, employment, and family stability. We put a huge amount of effort into researching and explaining these laws so they're easy for everyone to understand. Now we're curious. Which law in this list concerns you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it really supports the work we do. Number 3. Higher minimum income requirement for family visas. One of the most controversial changes expected in 2026 UK immigration policy is the increase in the minimum income requirement for family visas. This rule applies when someone living in the UK wants to bring their spouse, partner, or children to live with them. Previously, the required income threshold was already challenging for many families, but the proposed changes could raise it to over £38,000 per year in some cases. At first glance, this might sound like a simple financial rule, but for many immigrants working in essential jobs, such as healthcare support, retail, hospitality, or delivery services, reaching this income level can be extremely difficult. This means that even if someone is working full-time and paying taxes, they might still not earn enough to legally bring their family to the UK. Imagine living in a country for years, building a career and a life, but being unable to reunite with your spouse or children simply because your salary doesn't meet the new requirement. For many families, this could lead to long separations, emotional stress, and difficult decisions about their future. Immigration advisors recommend that applicants carefully review the income rules before applying for a family visa. Some people may combine different sources of income, such as savings or additional employment, to meet the requirement. Understanding the financial criteria early can help families plan ahead and avoid unexpected visa refusals. We spend hours researching and simplifying these complex laws to keep you informed. And now, we want to hear from you. Do you think these income rules are fair or too strict? Tell us in the comments. And if you appreciate the effort behind these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it means a lot to us. Number 2. Expansion of the right to rent rule. One of the most impactful policies affecting immigrants in 2026 could be the expansion of the UK's right to rent rule. This law requires landlords to check the immigration status of tenants before renting out a property. The government introduced it to prevent people without legal status from accessing rental housing. However, with the new changes, these checks may become even stricter and more frequent. Under the updated rules, landlords may be required to verify immigration documents more carefully and more often, especially if a tenant's visa status changes during the rental period. If a tenant loses their legal status or fails to provide updated documents, the landlord could be legally required to end the tenancy agreement. This means that in some cases, families could suddenly receive notice to leave their homes. The pressure doesn't only fall on tenants. Landlords who fail to follow these rules correctly could face heavy fines or legal consequences. Because of this, many landlords may become more cautious when renting to immigrants, even those who are legally living and working in the UK. This situation could make it more difficult for immigrant families to secure stable housing, especially in competitive rental markets. Experts suggest that immigrants should always keep copies of their visa documents, renewal confirmations, and legal status records. Informing landlords about any updates in immigration status can also help prevent misunderstandings. Being prepared and transparent can reduce the risk of housing problems caused by strict immigration checks. We truly put a lot of effort into researching and explaining these laws so you can stay informed. Now, we want to hear your voice. Which law in this video do you think will impact immigrants the most? Share it in the comments. And if you appreciate the work behind these videos, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep creating content like this. Number 1. Stricter visa renewal requirements. The most significant change that could affect immigrant families in 2026 is the introduction of stricter visa renewal requirements. For many immigrants living in the UK, renewing a visa is already a stressful process that involves paperwork, financial proof, and strict deadlines. But under the proposed changes, the renewal process may become even more demanding and difficult to complete. One of the biggest concerns is the possibility of higher financial thresholds and more documentation requirements. Applicants may need to prove stronger financial stability, provide additional employment records, and submit more detailed evidence about their living situation. Even a small mistake, missing document, or delay could result in visa rejection or processing delays. Imagine a family that has been living in the UK for years, working hard and paying taxes, suddenly facing uncertainty simply because their visa renewal application did not meet the updated requirements. In some cases, if the renewal is denied or delayed, the person's legal status could change quickly. This could affect their ability to work, rent housing, or continue living in the country. Immigration advisors often stress the importance of starting the visa renewal process early, sometimes several months before the expiration date. Keeping organised financial records, employment contracts, and identification documents can make the process smoother. By staying informed about policy changes and preparing ahead of time, immigrants may reduce the risk of unexpected problems that could threaten their stability, employment, and family life in the UK. We spend countless hours researching and simplifying complex topics like this to keep you informed. Now it's your turn. Which of these laws shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you appreciate the effort behind these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Immigration laws expected in 2026 could bring significant changes to the lives of many immigrant families. From stricter visa renewals and higher income requirements to tighter housing rules and faster deportation procedures, these policies could reshape how immigrants live, work, and build their futures in the UK. For some families, even a small change in immigration status could create serious challenges related to housing, employment, or staying together as a family. It's important to understand that immigration policies are often introduced with the goal of improving system control and enforcement. However, for many people who have already spent years contributing to their communities, these changes may also bring uncertainty, stress, and difficult decisions. Families who rely on stable jobs, rental housing, and visa renewals may need to become more careful, organised, and informed than ever before. The key takeaway is that staying informed is your strongest protection. Immigration laws can change quickly, and being aware of those changes early can help individuals and families prepare in advance. Keeping documents updated, tracking visa deadlines, understanding your legal rights, and seeking advice from qualified immigration lawyers or advisors can make a huge difference when navigating complex immigration systems. It's also important for communities to support one another. Many organisations, legal aid groups, and immigrant support networks exist to help people understand their rights and access the resources they need. By staying connected with these groups and sharing information, and families can feel less alone when facing complicated immigration challenges. In the end, knowledge truly is power. Understanding these 10 potential new laws doesn't just prepare you for change, it gives you the tools to make smarter decisions about your future and protect what matters most: your home, your career, and your family's stability.